Do you see what I'm saying here? The infrastructure that modernity has built is largely designed to take advantage of you. And I want that to sink in. The world created in the modern era is designed fundamentally to take advantage of you. So welcome to today's video. My name is Graham Christian. I like to talk about meaning in life and how to find fulfillment. Today's video is going to be a dive into something that I'm extremely passionate about. It's not particularly sexy. Not a lot of people are talking about it. But it's also absolutely essential to finding and having a meaningful life. And not just a meaningful life, but an optimized life. A life where you are living up to your potential. It's absolutely no mystery to me that the modern world that we live in is not designed for humans. Human beings are not designed to thrive in the modern world. And there's in abundant ways that you can see this. The modern world has created what I would describe as abstractions. The modern world has turned us into machines. The Industrial Revolution created factories. Factories created tasks that were measurable, then meant that we started seeing human beings as machines. And as such, we lost touch with our sense of creativity and fulfillment in life. And that's only one part of it. The modern world also introduced the light bulb. And now that we had the light bulb, we turned our nights into days. And we brought lights inside. And the rhythm of wakefulness and sleep was broken. And our cycle of getting good sleep was disrupted. Do you see what I'm saying here? The infrastructure that modernity has built is largely designed to take advantage of you. And I want that to sink in. The world created in the modern era is designed fundamentally to take advantage of you. It's designed to turn you into a more efficient worker. It is designed to keep you up at night. It's designed to suck your attention dry. I mean, what is social media? It's fighting for the real estate of your mind to take you away from the creativity that you need to express and present messages that are not true. And so if we're going to thrive in the modern world, here's my suggestion. We have to take a look at the human body and deconstruct what the human needs, and then build constraints, systems, and routines that maximizes the best from us. And so in today's video, I want to talk a little bit about some of the systems and tools that we can use to have a more fulfilled life and to really fight back against the modern world that is ultimately trying to destroy us. All right, so I know that the language is a little bit strong, but I think it's merited, because the modern world is a very difficult place, especially for young men. It's harder to find a romantic partner. It's harder to find meaningful and fulfilling work. It's harder to combat mental health issues like depression and anxiety. Look, I get it. And so what we have to do to combat the meaninglessness, the messages that we're getting from the world, we have to create systems that help make us resilient. And so, what are those systems? I think that if we look at the systems that we need, we first have to talk about the needs that human beings have. And if we are not adequately rested, if we are not adequately fed with the right nutrition, if we don't have the supportive and nourishing relationships that make us psychologically healthy, if we don't have the basic habits of a healthy person, then no matter how much we try to do the right thing, how much we try to succeed in the world, ultimately we're trying to fight our way upstream. And so where do we start? Where do we start building new systems? Where do we start building new habits? I think on the one hand, that question is very personal and requires a deep understanding of what really matters to you. And for me, I decided a very long time ago that my physical health, my mental health, my sense of well-being was the source from which everything in my life flows. And so I've been on a journey the last several years to eat well, get in the gym, exercise, and be very clear about creating priorities and boundaries around that. I will never, ever let my job take that away from me. I will never let a relationship take that away from me. It is a non-negotiable. Good food, good sleep, and getting in the gym and having a killer workout. Once we get sort of our basic physical needs met, our sleep routine is dialed in, our diet is dialed in, we're feeling healthy. From there, we can start looking at other things that flow out of our lives. Next thing for me would be relationships. Relationships are essential. In fact, I want to try to pose an idea that I think is very interesting about relationships. In many ways, we tend to think of other people as exterior to us, as different from us. But in many ways, when we get to know someone, we are actually internalizing them into ourselves. And so we pick friendships with people that challenge us. They're people we aspire to be. And by spending time with them, we get their perspective. We start to internalize their voices, and they become a part of us. What's interesting is, I like to use an example to explain this idea. Oftentimes when we lose a loved one, when a loved one passes away and dies, the process of grief is not only grieving the loss of that person, but the loss of everything that person represented in your life. Because that person maybe reminded us about, because think about it, when you get close to another person, your interests, your routines, they intertwine. That person comes to represent a whole host of things that are meaningful to you. And so when we intentionally fill our lives with people that challenge us, that are different than us, that complement us, we become a much richer person, and we have a much richer personality to offer the world and a much richer perspective. Once we have our basic physical health kind of dialed in, we start developing friendships. I think we can start moving on to one of the most important things we can look for in life, and that is, how do we meaningfully contribute to the world? What am I here to do? I think that, especially for younger people, this is a very high pressure question. What are you here to do? What's your purpose in life? And it's an intimidating question because we're surrounded by people who are very successful. Like just pull out Instagram or YouTube and just scroll a little bit. You're going to find a lot of young people who have found success early in life, and it's really important not to get in the comparison game. You are just trying to be better than yourself yesterday. That's it. And create habits that ultimately make you feel fulfilled. In large part, these YouTube videos are my own way of discovering how I want to contribute to the world. You know, the truth is, the purpose of life isn't freedom. It's not making a lot of money. It's not freedom from responsibility. No, not at all. In fact, I would argue the opposite. The purpose of life is to become increasingly constrained by the needs and demands placed on us by relationships, a spouse, kids, our work, and demanding of ourselves every single day to contribute value to the world around us. That's the opposite of freedom from responsibility. It's increasing our responsibility. And I once heard a metaphor that as we grow older, we become like the trees, stable, strong, tall, and we provide shade for those to come and take rest in all of our work and growth. Thanks for watching today's video. I'll see you next week.